What's going on, G-Ballers? Today I have a new knife here to unbox for you coming in from Remette, and this one should be exciting. It's going to be out of their budget line. It is called the Whale. If this is your first time stopping by, welcome to GBall Vision. Drop a comment below. Let me know what your EDC is for today. This is going to be called the Whale. It is available, and I'll have links to it down in the description. This is going to come in at $42 right now on their website, and I believe it's going to come in right around the same price on Amazon. I will have them both linked down below. What's really cool is they're also going to be offering this in a more premium format as well. So if this is something you really like the looks of, they're going to have that more premium version as well. With this one here, we are going to be looking at 14C28N, and considering this is $42, that is a damn good deal in my opinion. They have a couple different versions with the budget form. This one has a green and black Damascus with orange liners underneath, and then we do have steel liners underneath of that. It does have a cool aesthetic to it. Open construction with a couple of standoffs and a lanyard post. We are looking at a deep carry clip, a nice one at that. It is recessed and those screws are recessed as well, but we are going to be looking at a right hand carry only. We have good access there to the liner with a chamfer. Lockup looks pretty good there, about 40%, I would say. It is perfectly centered up, and then those thumb studs are a really nice size. It isn't those dinky thumb studs. I can't stand those real small studs. This is so much better, so much more comfortable. You can get a lot of meat on it, and that detent is tuned perfectly. We have a nice little flipper tab here, and that's going to work well. Also, a good tuned detent, you can have those multiple options, but if you can't tune a detent, don't bother offering that secondary deployment option. But Remette, they definitely reserve the right here to have that flipper tab. Now, the size of this, it is a decent size. I'd say like a large mid-size. Let's get a quick check here on the actual length. We're going to be looking at 3 1/8 of cutting edge, 3 1/2 of total blade, and that bad boy is going to come down there at 7 3/4 strong. So almost 8 inches and almost a full-size knife. Couple of comparison knives. We have the Benchmade Bug out here and the Kaiser Drop Bear, and you'll see this knife's going to be a little bit bigger than both of those. And two more, we have the Vosteed Raccoon here up top and the Kaiser Militol on the bottom. The Militol comes in just under 8 at like 7.9, so it's going to be just a hair shorter than something like the Militol. It's even a little bit bigger than the Raccoon is. Get our 50 Ways GBall Vision Hank out here, and we'll take a look at this pocket clip. They've used this clip in the past on some of their budget options, and it works well. It'll function good. It's going to look just fine. Carry the knife nice and deep, and our retention will be spot on. It has good spring, and that'll have plenty of clearance underneath there to get this into a little bit thicker seams. It'll definitely lose a point or two there for not having the option for lefty carry. I definitely think, a knife like this should have that option. Just an included filler tab right there with an extra cutout, with some extra tooling for a secondary screw there, and you would have that all together. Let's go ahead. We'll take a look at the hardware there. T8 on the body screws, and they are nice and tight. We have T8 on the pocket clip, and it looks like T8 on the pocket clip screws as well. Very nice. So T8's all the way around. Go ahead and get the arch nemesis out here, and we'll give the Whale a weight check. I like to guess the weight of the new knives that come into the channel, and I invite you to play along. Put your guess down in the comments. Let me know what you think the Whale here weighs in at. I'm going to give it a shot. It has some heft to it. Slightly contoured, steel liners. There is a little bit of weight relief on both sides, but it has a nice heft to it. I'm going to say, I might be a little rusty here, but we were at 3 1/2 inches of blade. I wouldn't be surprised if this is like a 3.7-ish. Ooh! Geggy is a little rusty. That's okay. I can lose some days. 118 grams and 4.1 ounces. So yeah, it's going to have a nice heft to it for its size. Switch gears here and we'll get a couple of measurements on our handle and blade. We'll start with that handle. 0.51 inches and 13.1 millimeters. We'll go over to the blade stock here. Go to meters or millimeters, 2.9 millimeters and 114 thousandths of an inch. And then behind the edge thickness is going to be coming in right there about 22 thousandths. And we should have this memorized, but we don't. 0.57 millimeters. Let's see how the whale cuts out of the box. It is raining like the dickens out there. All right, let's go ahead and we'll see how this bad boy cuts. It's set up for a standard EDC, I would say. Not like ultra slicey. Not an ultra slicey BTE, but still going to be capable of doing some nice cutting. And this has a very nice edge on it. Yeah. And we know just from experience and we know what 14C is capable of, and it can take a screaming sharp edge. So that is definitely something we want to see on all our knives out of the box, but especially something in 14C. It is a very easy steel to maintain even for a novice. So we'll run this through a couple of checks here. We check centering. The relief cut is on the inner side, which I really like that. It keeps a cleaner, flush look there. So that's a nice added touch. I like the non-told pivot with the little blue collar. Looks really good. Nothing on the show side. I love the flat that goes into that top swedge and then ends abruptly right there before we get to the tip of the blade. Has a nice character to it with this little thumb ramp. I like the jimping in combination with the studs. That'll be a nice place to rest the thumb if in that position. I think this will make a pretty comfortable EDC knife, and it's going to bring quite a bit of value to the table at $42. That is pretty hard to scoff at these days, considering, there's some companies charging $50, $60 for D2 and G10. So to get this set up here at $42, that is putting this up there in some very nice company. Let's go ahead and get the whacker off the shelf. The whacker is fiending for a little wacky do. So let's cure what ails him, and we'll go ahead and check this fella. I don't feel any up or down or side to side. We'll start out towards the tip, give it a couple of light taps just to get us going, and it sounds very good. I can usually tell. Yeah, I can usually tell just by the sound. That sounds very good. Very, very good. You hear that? It's giving the thud back, and Wacky is giving it the okay. So very nice. Detent, if you're an action wizard or a fidget monster, this will be a nice knife for people who enjoy a good action, multiple deployment options. Yeah, it's a standard liner lock, but in some ways and in some cases, I find them to be, pretty damn fidgety, especially if they're set up properly. You can unlock a liner pretty quickly with some good practice. This little area here, I'm not 100%, it's like an enlarged sharpening area that you can kind of get a fingertip in. I think, we could have probably brought the edge back here and kind of brought the sharpening choil into this area, or we should have extended that just a little bit more. I mean, I can get up in there, but we're not going to call that a finger choil because, if I really, I guess we could almost, but that's the thing. It's almost, it's in between. So that, you know, I'd like it to go one way or the other, but ultimately not a huge deal. It's just something I felt like nitpicking at this exact moment in time. You'll have to let me know, what do you think of the whale here coming in at $42? I look forward to hearing your thoughts. Don't forget to hit the thumbs up button. If you want to continue to see dope knife and EDC content, make sure you're subscribed. I'll pop up a couple of new videos. Go check one of them out. Have yourself an awesome day. Thank you all again for watching. I'll catch you on the next one.